Hello, my beautiful and valuable friends, and welcome to this channel. My name is Tatevik, and today we will have a very interesting topic. We will discuss who is this real man? Who is this high caliber, high value man? You know, they're these gentlemen, and we just can't be, enoughly mesmerized by them because there is something in them that really triggers anybody, and doesn't matter of your age or a gender. A real man is something really hard to find. A real man is something really powerful. A real man is a person who has a specific characteristics, a specific traits that make him that masculine, that desirable, that classy and elegant a gentleman. I always say a real man is a real gentleman. That's the bottom line of everything. But today we will discuss this subject in more depth, and I will give you more traits for you to understand who is a real man. This video is dedicated to both men and women, and the reason this is dedicated to both genders is because for men it's crucial to understand what to do to become a real man. But for women, it's also crucial to understand who the real men are so they can tailor themselves accordingly and behave ladylike to attract these type of men. I always think that in life we attract a person who is like us. So if you are very ladylike, if you're a woman, then you will attract somebody very, masculine, because it will be your opposite. If you are very womanly, if you're very feminine, it's only natural that you will attract somebody very, strong and confident as a masculine man. And therefore this video is for both genders to really understand what is that you want. For men, I encourage you to become more masculine and more confident in your life. And for women, I encourage you to go for these masculine and confident men, because only with them you can have a true security, true feeling of safety that you belong with them. And only with them you can make yourself on ease and truly open your heart. I also always suggest people to go for a high value personas. People who have their dignity, people who have their goals, people who have their bigger version, in their mind, and they're striving towards that. And I always encourage you to go for the high caliber person, because to grow in your life, you need somebody next to you who also wants to grow. So let's really go in depth and understand who is a real man. What does a real man means? And I also want to mention that this will be helpful for fathers if they want to grow a very masculine, like a gentleman child, their son to become a real man. And also for mothers who maybe are struggling, maybe they are single mothers, they don't know how to raise the boy in the family, and maybe these little skill sets, these elements will help you to give the child the right upbringing. And above all, this video is for you to create it to enjoy. If you're a man and you would like to learn more about this subject, you can always contact me below, and we will have one-to-one private session. And if you're a woman and you want to find out about how to really attract these type of men in your life, is there anything you need to change, is there anything you need to learn to see in them, then also contact me and I will be happy to help you. So from the beginning, let's have a look at all these traits. Number one trait that a real man has is that he's a real man. Yes, it's not a fake, it's not a false, it's not a little lie or a mask or just for one day or one night, but he's a real man day and night, every day, every minute. It's like, when you're a true gentleman, you are a gentleman even when you're alone. A gentleman is not a man who is, nice and polite and kind and knows the manners only in society. Even when you're alone and you're a gentleman, you know how to behave, you know. And it's not about, you know, not drinking from the bottle, when you're home. For example, it's a juice, you're not drinking from the bottle but you pour in the glass. I think that's just the manners. If you're used to it, that's how you will act. But it's not only in these little things, you know. If you're drinking from the bottle, if you're when you're alone, it doesn't make you less gentleman. But there are certain things that a gentleman doesn't do when he is in society, and he also doesn't do that when he is alone, you know. And I think it's not only the action but also thoughts. Very often when we are in a society and you see a real man, it's very rare he will say something against people. But also I think a true man is the one who is in his own thoughts when he's alone, also not cursing at anybody, also not being mad at anybody, also not sending a hateful thoughts, because thoughts and actions, they're both connected. So number one, this is a real man we're talking about, and it's nothing fake, like I mentioned. So in here we can just remember about 3 M's. And this is very easy. I on purposely created these words that all start with M, and it's like 3 M's for you to easier memorize this subject. So number one, a real man is very masculine. You know, he's not weak, he's not soft, he's not crying for any little reason. He's very masculine. There is some kind of confidence, some kind of stamina in him that nobody can shake him out. This masculinity is not only that he has a manly body, you know, that he has the men's organs, or he's strong, but masculinity is also in his mind. He knows that he needs to be a leader. He knows he's the one who needs to solve the situations. He knows that he needs to be responsible in his life. The masculinity is a power that a man has. So that's the first M. Second M is maturity. He needs to be mature. A real man is really mature adult. It's not a little boy who is crying and going for advice every single time to his parents. You know, sometimes you can ask advice, but mature person is the one who is able to think independently, persistently, on his own terms and times. And the same is for a woman. You know, if a woman is mature, then she is quite persistent with her own thinking. She has her own opinion about things. So now he's masculine, he's mature, but he's also motivated. Here you go, your 3 M's. Motivated within his own career, motivated within his own maybe sport routine, motivated with his own goals. A man without the motivation will never succeed. And you know, successful men are always motivated, and the motivation is not so much that his parents love him, or his woman is supporting him, you know, emotionally giving him strength, but motivation comes within. Even if he becomes single, even if his parents leave him, he will still be motivated, knowing what is that he wants to achieve in life. So here you go, a real man is masculine, mature, unmotivated men. This is very important. Even if you pause now, you already know, I would say 90%, what the real man is like. Now let's go to the second stage. Now, if he is a real man, he also wants to have a real woman in his life, and he wants to take care of a real woman. A real man is the man, a mature, masculine, motivated man who wants to have a real, beautiful, ladylike woman in his life, and he's happy to take care of her. You know, to really take care of her and take that responsibility on him. It's very interesting. A woman can be very happy on her own. If you think about it, woman doesn't really need a man to be happy. There's some kind of energy in her that she can look at the flowers or the butterflies and she's happy, you know. Men also enjoy nature, obviously, but they don't have that kind of connection. You know, men are very focused on making women's life easier, and only when a man has a woman that he can really take care of, you know, protect and take care of her, not only financially, but take care of her emotions, take care of her, you know, vulnerability, take care of her as a woman, you know, when she's crossing the street, to give her a hand or open the door when she needs, you know, these things. She can of course survive without those, but when there's a real man next to you, you become a real woman. That's why it is so important for women to listen to this as well, because to be a real woman, you need a real man next to you. But of course, if there is no real man next to you, don't wait. Improve yourself, become a real woman. And after all, sooner or later, a real man will always attract a real woman. A real woman is always attracting a real man. That's why this is a self-development, and you need to work on it right now. So a real man, when he's taking care of his woman, now I will give you 3 P's. Those will be 3 different words starting with the same letter P. Again, it is made on purpose to make this learning material very easy for you. And they will be 3 P's after all. First of all, number 1, a man who is a real man and wants to take care of his woman, first of all, he is a protector. See, that is natural. To be honest, this is something we don't really need to touch, because every man that I have met, every man that I've observed, every man that I know from my family, from my relatives, or my friends, boyfriends or husbands, they have something in them that they want to protect this woman. If it's their woman, even if that's their sister or a mother or a relative, but it's a female, they have a natural guidance that they want to protect a woman, and that's beautiful. Number 2, they are providers. Very often in Russia, in Middle East, there are many countries where men as a provider is a norm. Europe, of course, is a little bit different. There is a little bit different vibe going on there, and sometimes, women can take care of men. That's a bit not for me, but you know what I mean. Europe is a bit more open. Europe is experimenting more. But I really like the traditions where men are natural providers, where they provide for their woman, they provide for their children. And if the woman is pregnant, she doesn't need to worry about working. She knows that my man will protect me. He will provide for me. So now we have a protector. It's physical protectiveness. We know that he's there. If we are scared, we can run to him, or we saw a bad dream, we can wake him up and he will say, "Don't worry, sweetheart, everything is all right," and bring a water for us, or he provides for us when we need, and it's not only by gifts, but it's knowing that there is somebody that if you get sick or you have a child or you get pregnant, he will provide for you. And the 3rd P is also very connected, but it's about progression. It's something that a man, as a real man, is a progressor. So it means he progresses within his career, he progresses within his health or mental intellect, he progresses with a relationship with you. A real man, if he's in relationship and he doesn't take next level, is not really a real man. Because it means he's weak, he's vulnerable, he's not mature enough. These are all lacks, these are all minuses in his box. A real man progresses relationship. He knows where he wants to take you after. So now we have a provider, we have a protector, and progressor. This is 3 very big P's. Remember those. Now keep that all information in your mind, and we are going to the final and 3rd level in manhood. This is very crucial. Now, the 3rd is a real man has a real dignity. A dignity, he knows his worth, he knows his value, he knows what he's worth. And it's not, money-wise. It's we all understand, a human being cannot be price tagged. But it is something in him as a power of confidence that he knows that I'm going to always keep my dignity. No matter what happens, I'm not going to fall. No matter what happens, if I'm not succeeding, that I will not give up. I stand up and go further. It's a dignity of honesty, dignity of loyalty. He's loyal, he's not lying, he's not cheating, he's not trying to do something fake, behind your back. He's also not into these gambling things with his life. No addictions for him is interesting. He's not interested in cheap conversation, cheap people, cheap contracts. He's not interested to find the money in a cheapest and dangerous way. He's not interested in those things. He has dignity. If he has no money, he admits he doesn't, and then he goes and he gets the money again. He doesn't rush into quick money, you know, pyramid money, you know, trying to get drugs to be sold to get the car he wants. He doesn't go to those things, because you cannot call a gentleman, a real man, a person who loses his dignity. Dignity is the only thing you have as a man, and dignity is the only thing you have as a woman that is holding your character, your mental health in the place that it belongs to. Right away, when you give up your dignity, you go to the wrong path. It's normal, and we have seen that many times in real life and in the, you know, media and in movies and in books. So that means we need to learn from this. And in here, I'm also created 3 R's for you to remember easier. So it will be 3 words starting with R. Number 1, he is responsible. Responsible for his life, for his mistakes, for his failures, responsible also for his success, for his achievements, for his health. He's responsible person about himself. He's responsible about where he goes in life, and he's responsible about of course his family, but also about life in general. He doesn't mistreat life. He respects life. Second is that respect that comes from the responsibility. Because he's responsible, he also respects himself. He respects his time. He respects his money. He thinks, is this woman valuable for me to invest the money? And he's also very reasonable. He's reasonable. He knows when to invest money, where, who to give the money, how to spend it, and where to spend it, and how much to spend it. He doesn't lie and cheat on the side. He knows exactly that he is reasonable. He doesn't need to play these games. So now you have a lot of traits, but let's summarize them again and put them again together. Now, number 1, a real man, a gentleman, you know, man that we can admire, is always real. He's not fake. He's not pretending. And he has 3 M's. He is, do you remember? Masculine. He is mature, and he is motivated. Number 2, a real man takes care of a real woman. He is with a real woman. And how does it show? He has 3 P's. He has P as provider, P as protector, and number 3P as, do you remember? Do I remember? Of course I do. Progressor. Always progresses in his relationship. And number 3, a real man is a man who has dignity and never loses. And in this element, we had 3 R's. He is responsible for his life, for his achievements or failures. He is respectful towards himself, his time, his energy, and toward others. And he's also very reasonable. He's logical, and he knows how to solve things when things do not work out. So now you have a full package, you know, all maturity and masculinity, and the man who is a provider, and man who is responsible, who is respectful. You know, such a beautiful bouquet. If you are a man, ask yourself, how many of these I have? Which ones am I lacking? And if you're a woman, ask, how many of these my man has, or my future men should have? And it will make your life so much more to be on ease, because when you understand, the freedom comes. Now, if you want to have more consultation with me, if you want to understand this subject more, always can contact me, and we will have one-to-one training sessions. It's a lot of fun because we do a lot of exercises there. So go on, contact me, and we will schedule that. And after all, because this is the end of the video, I want to thank for your time, and also to not forget to remind you that don't forget to smile today and enjoy your life.